for example, was something that not just me, but also my whole family did at a very young age. My mom was before me a dancer, in fact, and she was part of a folk Dabke group in Jerusalem. And Dabke for us, like Dabke is like an expression of joy, of identity, and just stamping your feet and dancing to the music, the folkloric Palestinian music. It's very empowering to have these mediums, right? And for me, growing up, of course, like in Palestine, we would do it. We would do dance in weddings. So it was like an integral part of our culture, our celebrations and things like that. But also we would dance Dabke to commemorate the Nakba, our loss in 1948. Any occasion, whether it's happy or sad, Dabke was part of it. So I was born to a family of refugees who were victims of 1948 ethnic cleansing of Palestine. We know about other cities, Jaffa and Haifa and Akka and Jericho. I mean, the Palestine that I grew up with, the concept of Palestine that I grew up with was associated with those lands that were stolen from us. Our village, Beit Georgia, where my paternal grandparents came from. But Beit Georgia is completely erased, and it's one of like basically 531 villages that were completely destroyed and depopulated in 1948. It's amazing how like the story of Beit Georgia, which I heard most because I was co-raised sort of by my grandparents from my dad's side, especially my grandmother, Tamam, who has left a great impact on me. She was like a symbol, like not just for me, but also for the community. Like she's a symbol of resistance and also a symbol of what was once lost. She embodied that sort of in her figure, in her dresses, in the language she spoke, in the proverbs, in the songs that she would say, and she would say it, she would improvise things. It's amazing. That was sort of like a form of culture, like people had some sort of a rhythm, and they would like improvise songs to these rhythms. Like they had struggles. They definitely had struggles, but at least they were still in their homes. People would like travel between, the towns and the villages, which is something that for me was like a dream. Through my art, through dance, I was lucky to have these forms of expressions that reminded me of my identity, kept me rooted. I resorted to drawing at such a young age because I felt this urge to express myself. And I just kept drawing, and I would just like draw people's faces, their emotions. I was trying, I guess, to channel this negative energy into something positive. It carries a different meaning than it used to carry. Knowing Dabke and growing up, dancing Dabke ever since I was a baby, basically. Um, and then moving out of Palestine to continue my education and finding myself unable to even return. Dabke, having Dabke in my body, sort of like carrying Dabke with my body, made me feel like I can carry Palestine wherever I go. Ability here to reach out to people who know nothing about Palestine, and maybe like if they heard about Palestine, they things to do with wars, destruction. The images that are evoked when you think of Palestine are not to do with joy, culture, or history, and actually Dabke embodies this. Wherever I went, I danced. It was always like a great entry point to people who know little to nothing about Palestine, to get more curious to know what is happening in Palestine and the obstacles that the Palestinians are going through to keep this culture alive. People like students here who never been to Palestine, Palestinians. They are Palestinians, but they were born in exile. They didn't have a chance to learn the Dabke the way I did. Teaching them, the form of Dabke, and together also building our own dance narratives to our own chosen songs, felt like we were cultivating, um, a revival of Palestinian culture, adding our own characteristics to what Dabke could look like in the 21st century.
Where's your friend? And he just pointed at the rubble. Oh Allah, Allah, Allah. But you did difficult is easy. We humbly ask, you bring peace to the need.
For me, it is rewarding. They could learn about Dabke through me, and I take a lot of pleasure in dancing Dabke and teaching it, and I feel like I'm closer to my authentic self. Especially some dances that we do that brings a lot of joy. And it's like it transcends through us, through our faces, our bodies, and it's amazing to see how it impacts audiences. And they always come afterwards and say, "This is amazing. This is like absolutely charming, and we didn't know that Palestine has this beautiful culture." It reminds you that there is a lot that people don't know about Palestine. You can actually break when you are offering them with these alternative ways of seeing Palestine. And I'm just happy that I can bring that experience a little bit closer to the people and make people relate um, to having this connection. Oppression breeds resistance, and resistance is a right that that is afforded to any people under occupation until they achieve their aim for liberation. You need to find windows of light in order to keep you going.